there's a key principle about life and business that's really important for all of us to understand. And that is this: the first time is always the hardest. And along with that, there comes a couple of other implications and corollaries to that, which is each time after that, to a certain point, will probably be easier. Eventually, you're going to come down, you're going to flatten out, and it'll become, you won't get a whole lot easier each time. But at least at the beginning, that initial part, it's going to drop off in difficulty in doing things quite quickly. There's a strong corollary to this, which is you will be bad at doing it the first time, no matter what it is, unless you get incredibly lucky. You're going to be bad the first time. And the corollary to that is, hey, and you'll be worse if this thing that you're doing is not something that comes natural for you. So if you're naturally an introvert and this thing that you're doing for the first time involves being an extrovert, that's going to be tough. If you're not an early riser and this thing involves you getting up early, it's going to be tough. If you're not physically active and this is a new form of exercise, you're going to be sore the next day. If you're all those kinds of things combined that make this first time even worse. Okay, so let's talk more important than that, because I haven't given you anything that is a brilliant idea yet of what this means to us, because what it means is even more important. The first, most obvious, hey, don't quit just because it was difficult that first time. So many of us do this, especially with things where we're not naturally good at it. So if you're not naturally good at technology and you're building your first landing page and it was hard, don't quit because it was hard. Go back, keep giving it more tries until you learn how to do it. Next, don't judge yourself because it looks like it's easier for others. Remember, they're probably on their fourth time doing it, their 40th or their 400th time doing it, and you're judging yourself here, your first time when it's hard, against their 400th time doing it, and there's no way you're going to be equal in terms of ability to do it. Next, make sure you budget more time for your first time. Now, what I'm thinking here is as I bring some of these things up, let's just imagine that you're launching a product into the world, and there's certain things you know you've got to do, and certain things to those are, many of those are things that you're doing for the first time. All right. So make sure as you're doing that you're budgeting extra time to do that, not assuming you're going to walk in and just knock it out of the ballpark the very first time you're going to do it, because you're probably not, and you're not going to do a very good job at it. And hey, remember the corollary of whatever, not only will it be harder, but your product won't be as good. Here's what you also have to remember. Don't plan on using that thing you produce your first time for the long term. So yeah, let's say you're doing a course and this is the first time you've ever done a course. Well, you're going to get it done and you may be able to use it once or twice, but you're going to be pretty embarrassed with that over time, and you're going to get better at doing it. And so what will end up happening is you're going to end up reusing it. Same thing with a webinar. So many people come out with a webinar and they think, hey, I'm going to give this webinar once, I'm going to record it and turn it into an evergreen webinar. It's going to make me a fortune. Well, you know what? It's probably not. You're probably going to need to redo that as time goes on, because your first time doing anything won't be very good. Next, always be looking for ways to improve a system. So that first time, the second time, you've learned some things for the first time. So you're building a system. The third time, you've learned several things. You build a little bit more of a system. But as I said, after a while, you're going to flatten out and it's going to become more difficult. Well, you can make significant progress on improving your performance even further by developing a system and analyzing it, which can make it even better and make it so that you're even faster and better in doing it. And then finally, consider outsourcing, especially if you're doing something important like a product launch. Let's say you've never done affiliate management and you've got some affiliates who want to promote this. You may want to bring in an outside affiliate manager to help you with that so you do it well, because it's so important for you to do this one well. All right? You're not going to do well. The performance is going to be bad, and you're going to be pretty embarrassed of that first thing that you do. Don't quit. Keep going, but realize sometimes in business we have to do things for the first time And sometimes we may want to at least budget extra time or even outsource it so that we do it better, so that we are comfortable with the results that we get, especially things that are mission critical. What's your thoughts on this? Have you had this experience where you've been really embarrassed because you didn't perform well or you wanted to quit right out of the gate? All of us have. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.